In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his messenger. I want to greet everyone. We say it in Arabic, Assalamu alaikum. In English, it just means peace be unto you. In Espanol, significa la paz sea con usted. But the significance is peace. And it's interesting because I didn't write anything. I have printed in front of me something that I read from Oscar on today, which I wanted to close with. But I wanted to be real brief and just share my experience in the cell. I've been, as most of us who grew up brown, black skin in Chicago, I've been pulled over, I've been arrested, never convicted of anything. But I never spent a day in a jail cell before. And even though this isn't a real cell, I wanted to know something about what Oscar has suffered. I wanted to know something about what so many great men suffered. Dr. King wasn't too good to not go to jail. My teacher and leader, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was not too good that he couldn't go to jail. The founder of the Nation of Islam here in North America, Master Farad Muhammad, went to jail. So if these men who are much better men, I feel, than me, I just want to get a taste of it and see what it was like. And at first it was okay. I had people come visit and it was all right. But you realize how small this space is. And even though psychologically I knew I could get up and leave at any time, the mental exercise of saying, okay, I'm going to stay in here, it starts wearing on you a little bit. And you start realizing, just in 24 hours that I did, that I couldn't see my daughters when I wanted to. I didn't have my phone with me, so I wasn't calling. I couldn't, the normal things that we do, I didn't have. And at night is when it really hit me. Once everybody left, and it was just, where's Pinky at? It was just me and my guard in the cell. It's when it started bothering me because I couldn't rest in that cell. Even though it was quiet, it was dark, it was comfortable, I couldn't find peace. And the prayer I said, I did my prayers as normal, but what I wanted, I asked God, let me just feel a little something of what Oscar has felt so that I could appreciate what he sacrificed for all of us. We're taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that you can tell a tree by the fruit that it bears, and you can tell a man by his works. Look at the quality of man that Oscar Lopez Rivera is. That he could bring me as a Chicano and a Mexican, as a Muslim, here with somebody who I didn't necessarily grow up learning about him, but it was so beautiful to know the history of how he's interlocked with the Chicano struggle and how we've been one for so long that we don't get taught about in our schools. I went to a supposedly good school in Whitney Young.
That's right.
And I never once heard about Oscar Lopez Rivera.
That's right.
I never learned about Reyes Tijerina, all of these great men who are still alive. Some so-called free and some not so free. But it was interesting when I said the prayer asking to feel what Oscar felt, because I said I'm feeling uncomfortable, but I could only imagine how uncomfortable he feels. This was the strange thing. What I felt was peace. And I was at that moment that I was able to get a couple of hours of sleep. And I woke up thinking, that's odd. Why would I feel peace when I asked to feel what Oscar felt? Because as everyone has said, he's not in a cell. They have his flesh in a cage, if you will, but he's so much bigger than that.
All right.
You and I are here right now because of all that he's already sacrificed. And I wanted to share this because to me it's significant, because it really touched me, because I've always thought and taken for granted my so-called freedoms. But to think that I learned from a man that I've never met in my life, but who I fell in love with from reading his words and seeing the effect he's had on black and white and Latino and all of the age groups. We have from babies now. My daughter yesterday was wearing a free Oscar Lopez Rivera shirt. Yeah. We have from babies to 80 years old now, all coming together. What kind of a human being is Oscar Lopez Rivera? That they call him a terrorist and they want to keep him behind bars. But if he was so ugly and full of hate and terror, how could he produce such beautiful outcome of people? Look at the community all things So I wanted to just share this with you. In the Holy Quran it says that Allah, God, will never change the condition of a people until they change themselves.
Right.
And in the Bible, in the 12th chapter of Romans, in the 2nd verse, it says, be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind. That's exactly what Brother Oscar is showing you and I today. That we cannot just want to get in and fit in with this world which is unjust, and that we must take a stand. And sometimes all it takes is one good man to suffer so that the rest of us can stand up and start being what we're supposed to be. And I thought it would be fitting to close with these words that I read from Brother Oscar today, where he said in his statement today, "My proposal is a simple one. Let's work on the problems we can resolve with the means and resources we have at our disposal." That's right. He then later says, let's start thinking of changes we can make in our lifestyles, and we can resolve some of the difficult problems we face. Problems shouldn't intimidate or scare us. They should produce ideas in our head and challenge us to find solutions. Here's a man that everyone is saying, oh, poor Oscar, he's in a cell. Yet he from there is the freest thinking person you and I have probably heard going today. So I thank Almighty God that this one good man is willing to suffer. He didn't have to suffer. He could have taken a plea under Clinton. He could have left. He could have walked away, but a man of principle is showing you and I what must be done, and all we can and have to do is be ourselves. That's right. Oscar is challenging us to love our people. We as Muslims, as Chicanos, as followers of Minister Farrakhan, stand with Puerto Rico and its people and their right to be a free and independent nation to govern themselves, because that is what God has ordered for us. We seek the same thing for ourselves. For our struggle is one, and I know, and I have to close with this, Jose. In 2000, when you met with the minister, he said Oscar would be home. Now he's the only one who hasn't come home. But I follow a man who's not alive. Never. He's never lied to us. He's a man I feel divinely guided. We can argue about that. It doesn't make any difference. Let's just all wait a few days. So keep your health up, because I know that every word he has said to this point has come true. So I'm going to be at the celebration when Oscar comes home.